heads up. This is not going to be a long training. We're not going to be here all night. So have your phones ready to take the screenshots, okay? And I'm going to tell you this, with this training, every slide is going to be a slide you should take a screenshot on. I'm telling you right now, leaders, if you got a team, if you got a downline, you should definitely go ahead and take pictures of these screenshots because you can use it for training again. So I won't go too fast, but we're not going to go too slow, right? Because we're talking about some momentum. Let's get it. All right, jumping into it. So follow up, fortune, the secret, the system. Somebody dropped system in the chat. It's all about systems. You got to have systems. So where the money really is in the follow-up. So a few things that we want you to take home this evening. So there's 3 sections. We're going to talk about, number 1, the outcome. Number 2, nobody in your pipeline gets forgotten about, okay? And then number 3, we want to talk about the system, all right? So the fortune, where the business actually sits in the pipeline and why most affiliates walk right past it. The secret, the below the surface, follow up, move a small handful of top trainers teach while everyone else misses it, all right? So not too many people teach on this. And then the system, the reapproach, the 5-touch calendar, the exact scripts and answers to the 6 objections. Let me see if I can blow my screen up. All right, that's better. That's better. Man, it was so small. Okay. All right, let's jump into it. The gap between the first touch and the close. Let's close the gap. These are some statistics that you want to remember. Okay, and you want to take a screenshot of this once this is completely up. But 80% of sales close between the 5th and 12th contact, according to sales research. 80% of sales close between the 5th and the 12th contact, according to research. Let's remember that. 44% of reps, of entrepreneurs, of business owners, of salesmen or saleswomen, however you want to phrase it, 44% of reps stop after a single follow-up and never reach back out. 44%, right? So that's like, if it's you and another business partner standing next to each other, one of you might be following up and one of you might not. If you got a room of 10 people, 10 business partners, right? 5 of them most likely are not following up. 44%. But 80% of the closes happen between the 5th and the 12th contact. So if you just follow up 1 time or 2 times, you might be leaving some money on the table, okay? All right, the average number of contacts, attempts that a rep makes is 2.3. There's that number again. Only about 2 to 3 times will somebody follow up, all right? And then the attempt range where reply rates actually peak long after most people quit, 6 to 8. That's a good range right there, right? 6 to 8, right? But let's go back up here. 80% of sales close between the 5th and the 12th. 6 to 8 is a good range, but you should really go all the way to 12. Now, we're not saying follow up with somebody 12 times in a day. Don't harass people. You don't want to harass anybody, right? But following up over time, not 12 times just in that 1 week. And I got to say this, I have to say this because I've heard people doing that, where they just like, well, I followed up with that person 12 times. I got it out the way. I followed up with them 3 times a day for 4 days. You don't want to do that. That's not the proper follow-up. This is something that happens over time, which is why you got to stay organized and you got to have a system in place, but we're going to get into that. All right. So, and we talked about reading those two numbers together. Most people quit at the 2nd and the 3rd attempts. Okay. All right, let's keep going. All right, let's talk about the fortune. Let's see if I can get this over here. This is in my way. I can't do that because if I do the chat, then it's too small. Okay, we're gonna work this thing out. So why the business lives in the touches nobody makes. All right, the chaser and the professional. There's two types of individuals, right? Do you want to be just a salesperson or do you want to be a professional? You probably want to be a professional, right? Professionals move differently. Both people send the same message, right? But only one of them might get an answer. So let's look at this. The chaser. What does the chaser do? Don't be a chaser, right? Somebody put no chasing in the chat. Put no chasing. Drop no chasing in the chat. All right. We're not chasing people. We're not like somebody gave us a hard no. They just like flat out no. And then you texting your mentor like, how do I change their mind? Like they told you absolutely not. They are not interested. Like, don't get into chasing people because it's going to lead to frustration. I'm telling you, it's going to lead you to frustration. All right. Everybody is not going to be your client. Now, we do want to see who's going to be our client, who's going to be our business partner, but everybody's not going to be your client, and you got to be okay with that. Don't get into chasing. Professionals don't chase. Professionals attract. Okay. Professionals don't chase. Professionals attract. All right. So just checking in. This is what the chaser does, right? They send the same empty message. It's got no substance. They ask for a yes on every single touch. You ready yet? 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 Don't do that, right? The vibe, right, lands on the prospect as pressure. That's a sales term. Lands on the prospect as pressure. How does it hit them? What you send them? How is the vibe with it? And it lands on them as pressure. And then also the chaser goes quiet after 2 unanswered texts. The prospect stops opening the messages. Okay, yeah, no chasing. What does the professional do? The professional has a planned touch. They already know what they're going to do before they do it. Every touch carries a purpose, gives the prospect an easy way out. See, when you know your value, you really don't care if somebody says no. If it's not for them, it's okay. If I'm not afraid of no's, y'all. I don't care about a no. You know, I'm not upset with the no. I love the yes. I love the yeses, but I'm not mad at the no's. The one thing I don't like though is being left in that gray area. I need a clear answer. Just give me a clear no or a clear yes. I'm okay with the no's. It's all right. Right. But when you leave that way out for somebody to say no, they can answer the question more freely versus feeling like they pressured to answer the question. Now, your approach with the individual, when you're a professional, it will land on the prospect as a service. It will land on them the vibe. It will hit them like, okay, this is a benefit. And this person is asking me a question and I have to just give them a real answer, which means I have to give myself a real answer to give them a real answer. Let me be real about it because they being real with me, right? And then the professional runs on a written script for 30 days, right? A 30-day sequence, okay? Not 30 days straight, a 30-day sequence. So the prospect answers and re-engages. Now, if you follow this system to the T, I'm not telling you that everybody is going to respond to your message. I'm not saying that. But what we're saying is we want to do what? Increase odds. We want to increase the percentages. We want to maximize the efficiency, right? Let's keep going. All right. So people respect people that respect their time. You want to respect your time and you want to respect their time as well. So why the follow-up never happens? Why do people not follow up? If we're saying the fortune is in the follow-up, the fortune is in the follow-up, why does the follow-up not typically happen, right? So 4 things stop the second call. And every one of them is inside of us if you allow it to stop you. Number 1, might be some of our best friends, fear. But you don't want that to be your best friend, right? Fear is the enemy, disguised as being your friend. Stay over here. We good right here. Stay in the comfort zone. All right. We read silence as rejection. I remember I had somebody say, Aziz, I sent 25 messages, and these 25 people, they opened the message and didn't respond to me. And I said, well, how do you know they opened the message? They said, because I went back and I checked. I'm like, I'm not going back to check if somebody didn't, if they opened the message and didn't respond to me. I don't know if they opened my message or not. I'm not concerned with that. Probably the only time I'm going to know if somebody opened my message, if I sent them a message, is because I'm coming back for what, y'all? Drop it in the chat. The only way I'm going to know if somebody opened my message, if I'm coming back to do what? Let me see. Drop it in the chat. Let me check the chat. Let me check the chat. Let's go. Follow up. I don't know if they opened that message. I'm not worried about it. Now, I might see it later when I come back and they opened that message and I'm following up with them. Okay, they did open it, but you know what? It's follow-up time anyway, right? So don't let fear get in your way, right? We protect our feelings instead of our business. Man, remove the emotion. No emotions. Take the emotion out of it, okay? The second reason that people don't follow up is because they forget. With no written list, and I wanted to kind of touch on this earlier, but I knew we was going to touch on it now, right? But with no written list, the third touch, the fourth touch, the fifth touch, you're going to forget about it because your memory is not a system. I've heard people say that too. I got 5 people that I'm going to follow up with. I got them on the top of my mind. Okay, you got them 5 people that you're going to follow up with that's on the top of your mind, but what happens when you got a new 5 that's at the top of your mind? What happens when you got a new 5 that's at the top of your mind? You got that good of a memory? So you got to have a system, right? You got to keep a list so you can remember who to come back to. Okay, you can keep your list as detailed as possible. You can keep your list, maybe a conversation you had with that individual, right? Some things that y'all talked about, that might help as well. The fourth reason why people don't follow up is pride. We decide that asking twice looks desperate. I don't heard this a lot as well. Man, if people don't want what I'm doing and they don't want what I'm doing and I ain't talking to them, and that's why I don't like messing with people anyway. I done heard that before too. Are you in the sales business or you just want you want a magic potion? I don't understand it, right? I say this all the time. When McDonald's runs a commercial and on your TV screen, do you run out and go buy a Big Mac? No. Now, they might run that commercial 10, 15, 20, 30 times, and you still ain't ran out and bought a Big Mac. But you think McDonald's sitting there saying, we ain't gonna run a commercial in they house no more. We ain't desperate. We ain't thirsty. No, they gonna keep running that commercial. Why? So you stay what? Top of mind. So McDonald's stay top of mind, right? So if you're not running out to Walmart every time they say they got low prices, falling prices, then don't feel that way when you send somebody a message. You don't know why they didn't respond back, right? And don't let your pride get in the way. All right, let's keep going. The fourth reason. Yes, with no schedule, we follow up on mood, and mood quick, long before the prospect does, right? We follow up on mood. I think I feel like following up today. Hey, this follow up Friday. Think I follow up today. They say follow up Friday, right? And then we do it off mood. We might follow up because it's follow up Friday. We might not. It just depends on how we feeling or where we at with our business. But see, if you got a system in place, I got to follow up with a certain amount of people for a certain reasons at a certain time, and it's a system. Throw yourself into a system, right? Not into guesswork. All right. So every one of these is self-inflicted. So every one of these gets fixed tonight with a written sequence. Y'all ready? Drop some fire in the chat if you're ready. Drop some fire in the chat. All right. So what not now actually means? What does not now actually mean? And we got to talk about this because if we don't talk about what not now actually means, then a lot of people is going to assume for themselves what it means. right? So almost none of these are a no. They are unanswered questions wearing a polite coat. An unanswered question, let me just say this too. An unanswered question does not mean no, okay? But also, an unanswered question does not mean yes. I know they say assume the sale and all of that, right? But you still got to get an answer at the end of the day. You want to get a clear answer. But a not right now is just an unanswered question. Where we don't want to be is where? The gray zone. We don't want to be somewhere stuck in the middle and not know. Now I gotta keep following up and keep asking the person if they're interested in the question because I just don't know where they stand. Okay, we don't want to be in that gray zone. So look, somebody might tell you I need to think. That's not a no. Don't take that as a no. That's still an unanswered question. Say, hey, they didn't give you a yes, they didn't give you a no. One specific question is usually unanswered. Ask which part they want to think through. Okay. Hey, I need to think. What you might say, okay, well, what part do you need to think about? Have you ever gotten somebody where maybe you've done a call with them, done a presentation, and they say, yeah, well, send me some information. I want to research and I want to think through it. Drop a 1 in the chat if that's ever happened to you. Drop a 1 in the chat. Okay. Let me just check. All right, I see some ones. Okay. So a great question at that point would be to ask. I heard this before too. Some people that might want to join as business partners, they say, well, send me over the information. I want to look through everything and I want to figure out how I can put together a game plan for this. And I'm sitting there scratching my head. And I'm like, okay, you're going to be brand new to this business. Don't know nothing about it. This is your first time seeing it. And you want me to send you the information. I'm thinking in my head, you want me to send you the information so that you could go put a game plan together by yourself. I don't think that that's the best idea. Now, I've been here. I have some experience. I can show you a few things, for a lot of things about this business. I can help you develop a game plan. I don't know if sitting by yourself in your room, staring at the website is going to be the best way to put together a solid game plan. I think we probably might get a better chance if we put that game plan together. So you might just want to ask, like, look, what are your thoughts around the game plan? Maybe I can help you with that game plan, right? Don't just think about the question. Don't get so caught up in the moment of I'm trying to get a sale or I'm trying to get an enrollment that you're not really just having a conversation. Sometimes we be so focused on what we doing that we turn our brain off. We turn our thought pattern off. We turn our human side off. Keep that part on. All right. It's good. Drop some diamonds in the chat if you're getting some value. Somebody might say money is tight. I'm going to speed it up, y'all. Money is tight. A priority question more than a math question. Money is tight. That's a priority question more than a math question, right? Because if money is tight, look, this is the perfect conversation that we should be having right now. Keep your mind on. Keep your mind on. Don't get so much into the sales piece that you ain't having real conversations with people. Let's make this thing make sense. Somebody put make it make sense in the chat. Let's make it make sense. I think some of the best individuals that's in the sales industry is the ones that's not trying to sell anything, but they just having real conversations, showing other people what worked for them so that they could duplicate it for themselves, right? Somebody might say, send me the info, right? So you can send them the info, if they choose to, and you can set a callback time, at the same time you sending them the info. One thing that I like to do is versus just sending the info, I like to just reply back or respond back and say, hey, you know what? I could send you some info, but I don't know if it's going to really break it down the way that you might like it to be broken down. I don't know if it's going to really give you all the information. I really prefer to set up calls to have these conversations. But I could send you some info if you like, right? But you just let me know what you would like to do, right? And you let them decide, because some people might actually say, you know what? I actually do want to do a call. And they might just be telling you to send them info because that's typically how it goes, right? But this is a different situation because you're a different person. You're not a chaser. You're a professional, okay? Something else someone might say, let me ask my spouse. Man, a real second decision maker, okay? Offer to set up a call where you and the spouse could jump on, because you just saw it. That person, that client, that potential business partner, they just saw the information for the very first time. How can they go back and explain it to their spouse by themselves? You'll never be able to explain it to them the way that I just explained it to you. I've been doing this for years. There's no way. Now, if you want to explain this to your spouse, my mind is telling me this is something you're really interested in. So if you're really interested in it, you probably want your spouse on board. So how about we get back to the what? To the system. And you just put me on a call. Let's make this first conversation practice. All right. Dropping gems. Look, somebody might say I'm too busy. So this is timing rather than interest. They say the timing, right? So, ask which week looks lighter. I don't really have time to jump on a call. Okay, well, understand you don't have time now, but when will be a good time for you? How's tomorrow at such and such time? How's Thursday at 8? Right? Give them some options, because they didn't say no. They just said not now. Okay, and then no response at all. This is what burns a lot of people up. They didn't get no response at all. Okay, and this part of it is because people don't understand the numbers game too. There's a numbers game that has to happen as well, right? The most common answer in the business and the exact place tonight's secret does the work. Let's get into it. Let's get into the secret. Let's get into the secret. We dropping sauce, y'all. We dropping sauce. All right. Chase the yes or invite the no. This is going to be something different right here. This is going to be something different. Almost every trainer teaches persistence and value. We have to, right? That's mandatory. We have to teach persistence and value. But only a small group teach the opposite move. Hand the prospect the word no, and they hand you back a reply. Okay? We're going to hand them the no. Ask a question that they can answer with a no. Almost every trainer teaches persistence and value. A small group teaches this. The line, have you given up on getting this handle? One sentence, no link, no pitch. Have you given up on getting this handle? You could tell me no. I'm not afraid of the no, right? Have you given up on increasing your credit score? Have you given up on buying the house? Have you given up on getting the business loan? Tell me no if you've given up. It's okay. I understand. Some people give up. This one right here, it make it hard for somebody to say no. They don't want to say, no, I ain't really gave up. You ain't got to talk to me like that. Right? But it make it hard for them to say no, that it makes them want to say yes. Like, hey, no, like it makes it hard for them to say yes, they've given up, I should say, right? And it makes them want to say no, because they don't want to look like they're giving up. All right. So it's kind of a way of reversing that. So why this lands, right? Like, what type of vibe or what type of feeling does it get, right? The no returns control back to the prospect. So when we say the no returns control back to the prospect, that means the power that they have to say no, right? And that's kind of what people would like to say anyway, no. But then the no actually means yes. You see what I'm saying? It's like a reverse type of psychology thing, right? So they're saying no because they want to say no, but when they're saying no, they're actually saying yes. Okay. People answer freely once they feel safe turning you down. All right. It's okay. It's no pressure. Nobody likes to be pressured. Why pressure? We don't sell, we serve. Okay. Why so few use it? Elite negotiations have taught us this for years, while most sales training still stops at persistence and add value. That's where most training stops. But once we know better, what we got to do better. Okay. Why one sentence wins? The mechanics underneath the line. So you can write your own version for any product. Number one, control. No hands the wheel back. People reply once refusing you cost them nothing. Okay. Number two is short. One sentence with nothing attached. Nothing to skim, nothing to dread. It's just a quick response, just a quick follow-up. All right. Don't have to be elaborate all the time. Remember, y'all, we talking about follow-ups. Number three is clean. It closes the loop either way. A no freeze your calendar. A reply restarts the conversation. Do y'all see we not trying to convince nobody? We not trying to like make somebody want our product or make somebody want our service. We just looking for those that's looking for us. That's it. Okay. A reply. Silence turns into a real conversation and you can finally work with them. That's the outcome. Will everybody respond? No, right? But we're trying to do what? Increase odds. Two ways to answer silence, though. Let's talk about silence. All right. So let's go to day 3. Let's say somebody's silent and then now it's day 3. So what most people will do is they'll just say, hey, just checking in on you. Right. But what a professional would do is say, they'll provide some value with no ask attached. Right? Provide some value. Provide if somebody's looking for credit repair, provide a credit tip. If somebody's looking for some business funding, provide some business funding, provide a resource, provide a article, right? Grab some information from ChatGPT if you have to, but come back with some value versus, hey, you followed up with them. They didn't respond. Now they silent. Just don't come back. Are you ready yet? Are you ready yet? Are you ready yet? Come with some value. All right, day 7. Add more benefits and rescind. That's what most people would do. They'll add more benefits and rescind. Right? This person they've been silent. They haven't been talking. You don't really know where they stand with things. And you like, hey, we got a new product you could use. We got a sale. You don't even know where they at with things. Like, at least get the conversation going first, right? But a professional, one question about the goal that they named. A professional gonna come back and say, hey, you still want to, I'm just checking back in with you. Did you still want to buy a house? How soon did you want to buy a house? Right? So we're gonna come back as a professional with a question about the goal that they mentioned. 14, keep following up until they answer. That's what most people will do. But a professional would ask a question that really is thought-provoking and say, have you given up on this? It's a difference. A lot of times while we're talking about this, I see individuals, they'll be responding or sending messages or something like that, but everything they see is a statement. Statements don't warrant a response. They don't require, a statement doesn't require a response, but a question does. Why might some people not be responding back to you? Because you might be throwing out statements. You might not be even asking a question. It didn't ask them to respond. It was there for them to just read. Right? So day 30. This is what most people would do. They would move on and go find new leads. Right? But a professional would close the file out. Right? They're going to close it out and invite the no. We're going to talk about it a little bit more. Let's get into it. All right. So the system. All right. So you just got a reason to call again. I always say this, find a reason. You got to find a reason to follow up. You got to find a reason to jump on a call. You got to find a reason, right? We're gonna be talking about that a little bit, right? So here's some reasons. The platform upgraded. News reopens every conversation that went quiet. Find a reason. This call tonight might have been a reason to find a reason to invite somebody that you was prospecting. Okay, so you can talk about how a new system is coming. I'm excited, right? Automation built to follow up and nurture your prospects for you. Look, we're going to have new access points for business capital. Product leadership calls, the biggest payout versus price in company history. We're going to have a simpler way to build without selling. Secure payment technology for entrepreneurs on the go, a larger ecosystem that reaches past friends and family conversations. See, these are just talking points to say we got something new. To put it simply, we got a new software, a new app, new partners, and new opportunities. This is news. And this is a reason to follow up, right? So the reapproach line. Everything I showed you just changed. And I'm building a short, early list. Should I leave you on it? Everything that you saw before, everything you saw when we jumped on that call, on that presentation, or you came to that opportunity call, everything that you saw before just got better. It just went to the next level. So even though you saw it before, you got to see it again, right? It's a great follow-up. News, okay? So 5 touches over 30 days. Day 1, right? It could be a thank you plus a resource. No ask, confirm when you will speak next. Day 3, 1 question about the goal they named in their words. Speak in their language. Don't speak in your language, speak in their language. Something that they can understand. It relates to them. It correlates to everything that they were saying. Day 7, send proof. A short story of someone who started where they are. Testimonies. Testimonies of somebody who was able to walk off their 9-to-5 job. Testimonies of somebody who fixed their car and they just fixed their credit and just got a new car, or fixed their credit and just got a new house, or got some business funding for their business, or built some business credit. Testimonies, proof, okay? Day 14, the note-oriented question. We're gonna talk about that a little bit more. 1 sentence, nothing attached. We kind of talked about it already. And then number 5, the 5th follow-up on day 30. So you see it's 30 days, right? So day 30 is clean, the closeout. Give permission to end it, then watch your return. Sometimes you can give permission to end it to someone and be like, hey, look, man, I hope you well. I hope you doing all right. I hope all is well with you. This will be my last follow-up with you. I don't want to harass you no more. I just want to make sure you got the information that you need. But this will be my last time reaching out to you unless you let me know that you're still interested. They might say, wait, hold on, no, I've just been busy. It's okay to close that cycle, okay? Now, could you come back to that person later, down the line? You could, but maybe it's about a completely different service. You see what I'm saying? It don't mean you ain't got to never talk to that person again, because you are trying to build relationships. This is a relationship business, right? All right, so let's keep going. Value add, okay? Value add. The sequence runs itself, all right? Once the dates live in your calendar instead of your head. The sequence runs itself once the dates live in your calendar instead of your head. Drop a 2 in the chat if you use the calendar in your phone. Drop a 2 in the chat. Let's go. Let's go. I see the 2s. I see the 2s. Yeah, because the calendar has reminders on it, right? Somebody put live on my calendar. I live on my calendar. I live off my calendar, man. I live off that thing. Whatever my calendar to do, whatever my calendar tells me to do, that's what I'm doing. Everything's going on the calendar, right? Yeah, the calendar is our boss. So you should have some follow-ups, especially if you got some people that, what we call like some people that's very, very interested. Oh, they should definitely be on your calendar. You should have that systemized, like, okay, these are the people that's really interested. These are the people that I just kind of need to follow up with. These people kind of like, I don't really know, but I'm gonna follow up with them anyway. But the people that's hot, these first, and it's like these first 5 follow-ups over the 30-day span, oh, they should definitely go in the calendar for sure, right? But we following up with everybody until they say no, they not interested no more. Okay. All right, let's keep going. Let's do your text and your DM scripts. Y'all want some scripts? Let's jump into some scripts. All right, let's see day 1, because we got this whole thing broken down. I hope y'all take a screenshot of all of this, because this thing is broken down. And then we got day 1 script. Okay, here's a particular. Now, will these scripts work for every situation? No, not for every situation, but we're trying to give you some type of idea. All right, so day 1. Great talking with you today. Here's a short overview, I promise. I will check back with you Thursday. Okay, so you had a conversation. Maybe you just kind of piqued the interest, then maybe sent a video, or you did a 2-on-1 call, or they came to an overview of things of that nature, right? You still want to send them the website. Okay, there's an overview on your website. Can anybody tell me where you can find the business overview on your website? What page on your website has the overview? Matter of fact, don't even tell me what page. Tell me who's doing the overview. Who's presenting the overview? Drop that in the chat. Let me see. Because you got to know your tools and your resources. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. All right. I see it in the chat. Yeah, the CEO. Yes. All right. Right on your website. See, they should get your website, because why? What if they decide that they want to go ahead and get started? They might get started at 2 in the morning without you even being there. So you should always, after someone sees some information, you should always send your website. You can always utilize this. Yeah. All right. So let's go to day 2. Or day 3. I'm sorry. Second follow-up, day 3. Quick question. When you told me you wanted your business funded, what is the first thing you would use it for? You asking a question about the goal. Ain't this better than, are you ready yet? Did you complete the application yet? When you gonna complete the application? Right? You gonna upload your documents? Like, ask them, keep the conversation going. Okay. Day 7. This made me think of you. She started exactly where you are sitting right now. 2 minutes, right? Worth the watch. You can send a video maybe of a testimony. You could send a screenshot. You could, you know what I mean? You can look for different testimonials that you could send someone as proof. Okay. Day 14. Now this is silence, y'all. Have you given up on getting this handled? Do you no longer want to fix your credit? Right? Do you no longer want to find a way that you can make another stream of income without having a second job? Hey, it's just a question, right? I just want to know so I can have clarity, okay? Because the worst thing I can do is try to guess what's on your mind. Day 30. Sounds like the timing is not right. So I'm closing this out. If anything changes, my number stays the same. You know where to find me, right? But I'm going to close this out. I don't want to harass you. I hope all is well with you. But I think this might not be the right time for you. If I'm wrong, let me know, right? But other than that, hey, I'm sending you many blessings, King, many blessings, Queen. But I'm out. Deuces. I got to go. Right now, if they really want to keep talking, they really want to keep the conversation going, they will. But it's okay. You're not going to squeeze that person until you just like, I'm going to tell y'all something else too. Because people be like, man, my friends and family don't want to talk to me no more. Because you probably squeezing them to death. You're probably squeezing every bit of life. When they see you coming, they like, I got to go the other way. I know when they call me, I know what this call finna be about. Like it's too much, right? Don't worry. If you're going to be in the business for years to come, if you truly building a legacy in a business that you can will to your family, you got time to wait them out. They going to keep watching you and seeing what you're doing. It's okay. I don't have people come back around a year later, 2 years later, 3 years later. But we want everybody to start right now. But when McDonald's run that commercial for that Big Mac, we do not run to McDonald's. But it's different, Aziz, because it's me and it's my business, and this is what I want. It just don't work that way. Wait people out. See, I can wait for 2, 3 years building my business, and I'm benefiting. But if they sit with their credit bad for 2, 3 years, that ain't the best move to make. But when they ready, I'm still going to be here. Right? I can wait them out. Yeah, I'm locked in. Yeah, let's go, Tanya. I'm locked in. The rule, one message, one idea. One message, one idea. It's clear, it's clean. I see a lot of times too, people trying to put 2 and 3 ideas in their message, 2 or 3 thoughts in their message, 2 or 3 questions in their message. That's too much. It's just simply too much. You're overwhelming that person. You want to make it easy for them. Don't ask 2, 3 questions in one script, right? No links on day 14. Don't do a link. Just ask them the question on day 14. And never send twice in a row without a reply. What do I mean by never send twice in a row? I've seen people do this. They'll send them their follow-up on day 3. Let's say day 3, they send a follow-up. They didn't get a response on day 3, so they're going right back. They ain't even wait till day 4. They're going right back that evening, sending us another message. And I done seen this, sometimes how you can see the little bubble on social media when somebody's seen when they seen the message. Well, I don't seen this. People sending 2 messages back to back, and the little bubble ain't even there. They ain't even seen the other message. You sending a message 1 hour and 2 hours apart. You sending another message. They ain't even seen the first one. They ain't even got the little bubble. What is we doing? we turning in from being a resource to being a stalker. We don't want to do that. Right? All right, so the one message, one idea, no links, never send twice in a row. Okay, I said that already. All right, let's get it. All right. Tip. Here's a tip. All right. The new Nove app has technology. It's a technology building, so you know when and what to say. So that's going to be really good because the technology is going to be there. So definitely look out for that app that's coming. Data pipeline, man. Shouts out to Nove. Shouts out to the CEO, COO, CFO, CMOs, all the C-suites. Let's go. 3 moves on every follow-up call. So before we were talking about scripts, okay? But now we're talking about calls because you may call someone. Now, why might you want to call someone versus sending them a text or a DM? Well, if you got their phone number for one, you might want to call. But why is that? Because actually talking to someone on the phone is a higher form of communication. It's a higher level of communication. There's some dialogue back and forth. They can hear your voice, things of that nature. Okay? So you might want to call someone to increase what? Your odds, to maximize what? Your efficiency. So if you're calling someone, open it without pressure, right? I'm not calling to sell you anything. I'm calling because I told you I would. It's a follow-up, right? Hey, just checking in with you. I told you I was going to call you, right? See, I'm a man of my word. I'm on my P's and Q's, just checking in with you, no pressure. How you doing? How's the family? How's the wife? How's the kids? Don't go straight in. Today is the day. You know why I'm calling. Today is the day. You ready? It's Friday. This day you say you was getting your check, right? Today is the day. You count my money? Right? So you don't want to do that. Keep the call open, man. Be a human. Stop counting people money. All right. Number 2, ask the no question. Right? It might be some silence happening. So you ask the no question. Hey, have you given up on the idea of getting this handled? Then stay quiet and let them answer. That's a sales strategy. I don't know if y'all have heard that. Some of y'all might have heard that, but they say the first person that talks loses, right? So you just ask a question. It's very difficult for people to be silent. It's very difficult for entrepreneurs and Fernando, it's very difficult for entrepreneurs, business owners when they're going through the sales process for them to be quiet. And usually that's because they feel like it always has to be someone talking in there, and they just keep talking and keep talking. But silence is not a bad thing. But when you build up your confidence, you're comfortable in silence. You want to be really comfortable in silence when there's silence, because silence doesn't mean that they're about to say no. Silence can mean that they're gathering their thoughts, their next question. So it's okay to allow it to be silent. Ask the question, be silent, let them respond, because you want to have respect for them as well. Especially if you just did a whole presentation. Maybe you're on a call and you're talking to somebody for 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, and you did a lot of talking because you was explaining everything. And then it comes to the end, and that's the time where you can just ask the questions and be quiet. Give them a chance to speak. Because when they speak, then you can understand what's on their mind, what objections they might have, etc. Okay, you can answer their questions. Okay, close for the next step. Never hang up without a date. Is Tuesday or Thursday evening better? Okay, Thursday. What's a good time on Thursday? 5 or 6? 5? Okay, perfect. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and give you a call in. I'll shoot you a text earlier that day just to make sure we're still good for 5 on Thursday. Sounds good? Great. Something else that I just did right there is called a double confirmation. I confirmed it twice. You didn't catch that. That's a double confirmation, okay? So always get that double confirmation, just so we clear, okay? Every call ends with a calendar entry or a clean no. If they say no, it's fine, but nothing in between. Don't get left in that gray area. Always leave an appointment with an appointment. If they haven't said no, you need to leave that appointment with another appointment, all right? 6 objections and what to say back. This is good right here. Make sure y'all paying attention to this part, right? I need to think. You can say, hey, that's totally fair. Which part do you want to think about? Which part do you want to think through, right? Is it the money or is it the time? Questions. Y'all ever heard that saying, the person who's asking the questions leads the conversation, controls the conversation? The person who's asking the questions controls the conversation. So when somebody asks you a question, you answer the question, but you finish the question after you answer it with another question, right? And sometimes the question is just like, do you have another question about that? Right? Sometimes that's just the question, but you control the conversation that you answer the question and then you ask a question, okay? Somebody might say the money is tight, right? That is exactly why we are talking. What would you need to change for this to make sense? Right? What would need to change for this to make sense? If the money is tight, but that's exactly why we're talking. Y'all see, that's a question. Okay, let me Let me ask my spouse, smart, would it help if I joined for a few minutes? And then they can ask directly, right? Another question. Okay, these are some new ones because we kind of talked about those before earlier today. I tried this before. Aziz. It didn't work for me, right? I can understand that. But it could have been a million reasons why it didn't work for them, right? What happened? Look, let me ask you, and I definitely understand. What happened last time? I want to make sure that we don't repeat any of that. Sometimes people might say, well, I can't even lie to you. It was me. It was my consistency. It was my discipline. Okay, so all right, now we know what we need to make sure you're successful. We're gonna put a plan together for you to be disciplined and consistent. Right? But you gotta know you can't just start talking to people and telling them about all the things that the benefits they gonna have. You might talk about a million things and didn't talk about the one that was most important to them. So that's why you gotta ask. They say, I'm not a salesperson. I love this because I tell them I'm not a salesperson either. I don't sell, I serve. I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything, right? You tell them, neither was I. Would you be open to seeing the part that is not selling at all? Well, in Nove, ain't none of it selling to me. Ain't none of it selling. So the whole presentation, the whole information, everything that we do, we is not selling. We are educating. This is financial literacy, financial education. We teaching individuals how to start businesses and scale and grow, how to get capital, how to self-development, how to coach, how to lead. If anything, I feel like this is school. If anything, a school for entrepreneurship. I'm definitely not selling nobody nothing. I'm horrible at sales, but I'm gonna educate you till the roosters crow. Right? All right, let's keep going. That's another objection. Just send the link. I kind of talked about this one earlier. You say, send it in now. Are you free Thursday at 7 so I can cover what the link leaves out? Might even say, hey, look, as we was talking earlier, look, I could send you the link, but I don't know if it's going to give you all the information that you're going to be looking for, right? I really prefer we set up a call, right? Or really prefer you come to this call, right? So that you can see all the information. It's going to be a whole lot better that way. But if you want me to send you that link, I can. Give it to them, take it away. Okay? It's their choice at the end of the day, right? So look, guys, we coming to the end of this. Here's your homework. Send the day 14 line to 5 names before you go to sleep tonight. Now, for some of y'all, it's a little bit late. Might be a little bit late. But if you don't do it tonight, definitely do it in the morning. But you want to send that out to at least 5 names, okay? Because the business you are looking for is already in your phone. Could be already in your phone. People that you haven't talked to yet. People that you need to follow up with, right? And sitting inside your phone could be conversations you started and never finished, right? Write the 5 dates. Run the 5 touches and let people say no freely. So the ones who mean yes can find their way back to you. The no's are okay. Get as many no's as you can, as many no's as possible. Because you know why? You're going to learn from them. It's going to build something in you. It's going to build your character. It's going to thicken your skin. It's going to show you how to detach and remove emotion. It's going to really build you up to be the leader that you need to be to go to the top of this compensation plan, right? Go get the no's. It's money in the no's. But you got to understand the value in those no's and not just look at it like you got rejected. I heard this before one time years ago. And this was years ago, and I was talking to a guy, and I said, man, give me some advice. I was brand new coming into the business. I was brand new. And I said, give me some advice. So what you want to know? I said, I want to know how to do well. And he said, he pointed over to the person that was the top producer at that time. And he said, you want to know the difference between you and him? He said, no, he said, do you know the difference? I said, I don't know nothing. That's why I'm asking you the questions. Right? I'm quiet, right? He said, the difference between you and him is that he talked to more people than you, and he got more no's than you. And because he talked to more people and got more no's than you, he got more yeses than you. And that's the only difference between you and him, y'all. So with that being said, go get the no's. Go for no. Drop go for no in the chat. Man, with that being said, man, let's get it. Love y'all. Have a blessed night and see y'all at the TOP. Let's go. Oh,